Hello everyone and welcome back to Purple Rose Crafts. Today we're going to make this beautiful circle in our granny square. It's a little bit more of a, say, traditional design, going around in a circle, but it is such a lovely pattern and we're going to go ahead and make this one today. Alright, so to get started, I have begun with our purple, and it is our loops and threads in the Snuggly Wuggly. This is our white that we've been using, but I am also using purple, teal, yellow, and pink, as well as a light blue, all in that same brand. So we're starting off with our magic circle, and I have already started with a double crochet chain 1 pattern around our circle, and we have 12 double crochets, so 12 double crochets and 12 chains in our magic circle. I have cinched it up and finished our first row with a slip stitch. For our second row, we're going to work into this row here. So this row is 2 double crochets and then a chain 1 into each of the spaces between, so each of the chains that we did for the bottom row. So now we're going to start with the chain 2, and we're going to work another double crochet into the space and then a chain 1 to get us to the next space. So now 2 double crochets and a chain 1, and we're going to continue doing that around in this row. So give this video a pause and go ahead and do that, and I will be back in a moment and we will work on the next row. All right, so here we are at the end of our row. And so we have 2 double crochets here. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch to the top of the chains from the beginning of the row. All right, so that's row number 2. Now this time we are doing 4 double crochets into each of our spaces. So in this case, actually, what's happening here is we have, when we chain our 2 chains, we're going to end up in between a couple of spaces. So we don't actually want to be there. So we're going to go back and okay, so we're going to go back, and now we're going to actually slip stitch over to the space between the next 2 sets of double crochets. And now this is where we're going to do our chain 2. So we just did 1 slip stitch over into the gap, or into the chain from the row below, and now we're going to do 3 more double crochets into that space and then a chain 1 and skip over to the next space. So that is our repeat for this row. It's going to be 4 double crochets and a chain 1. All right, so there's 3 plus our chains equals 4, and now a chain 1. Now we're going to skip over to the next one and do 4 this time. And there's our 4, and then chain 1. Skip over to the next one, and we're going to continue working around our row in that way, keeping in our circle pattern. All right, so give this video a pause, do that row, and I will be back in a moment to switch to our white and finish off our square. This is going to be a nice and quick granny square for you, but give the video a pause and come back in a moment once you've finished off this row. We've slip stitched to the top of the chains from the beginning of the row. So there's our gap in the middle. Actually, we missed our last chain to make our space there. Okay, so now we're going to slip stitch, and there's our chain included as well to give us our space between our clusters, All right, so now we're going to switch over to our white, and we'll go ahead and tie that on as we usually do. All right, so we switched over to our white yarn now, and I have done our chain 2 in that same space. So it's actually going to count as one of our double crochets in this row in this space here. And we're going to do another double crochet and jump over to our next space to go ahead and continue working into our spaces. For our sides of our granny square, we're going to be creating 2 double crochets, and then for our corner we're going to do 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles to finish off our corner. So this is our first cluster here, or our first space. We're going to use this as a side. So now we're going to put 2 double crochets into this space here. And then we're going to chain. And then now we're going to call this one our corner. So we're going to do 3 treble crochets, a chain 2, and then 3 more treble crochets into that space. Oops, that's a double. Wrap our yarn over twice to do a treble crochet. All right, and our third. And then we chain twice and do 3 more trebles. And then we're going to jump over to the next space. Okay, so there's our corner. 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles, giving us our nice square corner. Don't forget to chain at the end of your cluster. All right, so now we're going to jump over into the next space. 2 double crochets into this space and a chain. And now we skip over. Okay, so now we've done 2 sets of the 2 double crochets with 2 chains in between each one. And now we're going to go ahead and do our corner again. So this is 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles to finish off this second corner. And then we're going to continue around in our circle with our sets of 2 double crochets with the 2 chains between each one. All right, so here we are at the end of our first row of white. It does actually feel a little flimsy around the outside, so what we're going to do is actually add a single crochet around just to kind of give us a little bit more stability around the outside of our work. So we're going to single crochet into each of the stitches around, and then for our corner, 4 single crochets into the corner of our square, and then 1 single crochet into each stitch, making sure we put 2 into each of our gaps because we changed 2 on our previous row. And then we're going to finish off with a slip stitch at the beginning of the row. And of course, the beginning of the row starts with a chain 1. So we start with our chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets into our space, and then 2 single crochets into each of the stitches, the double crochets from the previous row. Okay, so now we're at our corner. So for our corner, we're going to do 2 single crochets, a chain 1, and then 2 more single crochets around to kind of give us that nice squared corner. All right, and then we're going to continue single crocheting across our row and slip stitch to the end of the top, or end of the beginning chain from the beginning of the row. And that will be it for our circle. I'm going to continue crocheting this. And if you like this square, give us a thumbs up, hit that like button below, hit the subscribe button because there's lots more granny squares coming if you want to learn different types of granny squares. There's lots already posted on the channel. We might even actually do some hexagons if that's something that you're interested in. Give me a comment below if you want us to do hexagons on the channel. So give us, say hexagons in the comments below, and we will post one of those videos shortly. And if you're subscribed to the channel, you will be notified, or hit the bell to be notified when our next videos are posted, and then you can be the first one to see that hexagon video when it's posted if you want to see that. All right, so there we go. There is our finished circle in our square, granny square. And like I said, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And there's our pretty purple. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time.